Can you believe there's a country where people live underground? BBQs are a national diplomatic ritual, women make the first move, and Christmas happens in the middle of summer? Welcome to Australia, the most eccentric continent on Earth. Today, you'll discover 15 unbelievable facts that will make you say, is this even real? 1. Australia, the most eccentric continent on Earth. What if we told you there's a place where Christmas happens in the middle of summer, where the happiest animal in the world lives on a tiny island, and where people build churches, bars, and even hotels underground? That place is real. That place is Australia. Officially known as the Commonwealth of Australia, this island continent is the 6th largest country in the world, stretching across 2.97 million square miles. Yet, for all its size, it has one of the lowest population densities on the planet, with only around 26.9 million people projected by 2025. But don't let the numbers fool you. This country is bursting with life. Australia's geography is like nowhere else. Bright red deserts in the center, ancient rainforests in the north, snow-capped mountains in the south, and over 10,000 beaches scattered along its edges. Its climate flips the script. Summer starts in December and winter in July. The people? A vibrant mix. While most Australians are of European descent, the country is also home to the world's oldest continuous culture, the Indigenous Australians, whose stories, traditions, and wisdom go back over 65,000 years. Add to that one of the top 15 economies in the world, fueled by clean agriculture, ecotourism, and a strong mining sector, and yet Australians remain humble, relaxed, and fiercely protective of their laid-back way of life. They speak English, but with a twist. Australian English is casual, clipped, and often wildly inventive. In every way, Australia refuses to be ordinary. It's a land of extremes, contrasts, and wild surprises. This isn't just a country, it's a continent that dares to be different. 2. Coober Pedy, Australia's underground wonderland. Deep in the scorched heart of South Australia lies a town unlike any other on Earth, Coober Pedy, where life thrives beneath the ground. At first glance, the surface resembles a barren Martian landscape. Red dust swirls in the dry wind, and temperatures frequently soar past 45 degrees Celsius, 113 degrees Fahrenheit. But below this harsh desert lies a secret world, an entire town carved into the cool earth. Over 1,500 residents live in dugouts, underground homes that remain comfortably cool all year round. And it's not just homes. Coober Pedy has subterranean churches, bars, restaurants, and even a 4-star hotel, the famous Desert Cave Hotel. This town is a living sci-fi film set, so much so that blockbusters like Mad Max, Pitch Black, and Red Planet were shot here. But Coober Pedy isn't just famous for its lifestyle. It's known as the opal capital of the world, producing 95% of the world's commercial opal. In fact, it's not uncommon for residents to find shimmering gemstones just by digging in their backyard. Every sunset transforms the desert sky into an ethereal painting of purples and oranges, a daily masterpiece. For tourists, it feels surreal. For locals, it's just another day, underground shopping, hunting for opals, and swapping stories of fortunes found beneath the dust. Coober Pedy is not just a place you visit. It's a place that challenges what it means to live above ground. If there's one town that proves human adaptability knows no limits, it's Coober Pedy. 3. The women of Australia, modern-day mavericks. If you think strength and independence are masculine traits, then Australian women are here to rewrite that definition, with sun-kissed skin, fearless ambition, and effortless charm. In Australia, beauty isn't just about looks, it's about energy. Stroll through the streets of Sydney, Melbourne, or the breezy shores of Byron Bay, and you'll see women dressed in flowy sundresses, sneakers, surf shorts, and wide-brimmed hats. No heavy makeup, no staged poses, just freedom in motion. These women aren't waiting to be saved. They're driving across the Outback, managing high-level careers, catching morning waves, and leading businesses. Over 1/3 of small businesses in Australia are women-owned, and the country boasts one of the highest female university graduate rates in the world. Australia also made history as the first country in the G20 to elect a female prime minister, Julia Gillard, a bold move in a still very male-dominated global political scene. What's even more refreshing? Aussie women don't wait for the man to make the first move. They'll text you first, invite you out, ask you straight up, "Do you like me?" And they won't play games. Recent surveys show Australian women are some of the most open in the world to dating and even marrying foreigners, especially Americans, Brits, and Italians. But don't mistake this confidence for arrogance. Australian women are grounded, friendly, and authentic. They value honesty, humor, and real connection more than flashy displays or hollow compliments. They are modern-day cowgirls, not riding horses, but riding the waves of modern life with courage and joy. If you're lucky enough to meet one, don't be surprised if she teaches you how to surf and how to live a little braver. 4. Summer Christmas and the festival spirit of Australia. Forget snowflakes and sleigh bells. Christmas in Australia comes with sunshine, surfboards, and seafood sizzling on the barbecue. Because Australia sits in the southern hemisphere, its seasons are flipped. So while much of the world is bundled up in coats, Australians are throwing on swimsuits and heading to the beach. Picture this: Santa Claus in board shorts, families playing beach volleyball, and prawns grilling on open flames under the summer sun. But that's just the beginning of Australia's eccentric festival culture. Take Vivid Sydney, for example, Australia's most electrifying event and the largest light festival in the Southern Hemisphere. For weeks, the iconic Sydney Opera House, Harbour Bridge, and city streets transform into glowing artworks with laser shows, 3D projections, and musical performances. Over 2 million people attend each year, making the entire city feel like a living, breathing light sculpture. Looking for something wilder? Head to Melbourne's Moomba Festival, where bizarre costumes and humorous parades take over the streets. It's a celebration of creativity and playfulness, where the more eccentric you dress, the better. Music and art lovers travel from around the world to attend the Woodford Folk Festival, one of the largest outdoor gatherings of musicians, storytellers, dancers, and thinkers on Earth. With thousands of performances in a magical forest setting, it feels less like a concert and more like a cultural awakening. In Australia, celebration is a way of life. Whether it's under the blazing sun, lit up in neon, or deep in the eucalyptus woods, Aussies find a reason to gather, share, and enjoy the moment. Because down here, life isn't about fitting traditions. It's about reinventing them with sunshine and soul. 5. Australia's beaches, where every day feels like paradise. With over 10,000 beaches, Australia holds a world record. If you visited one beach every day, it would take 27 years to see them all. From rainforest shores to desert coasts, bustling city beaches to untouched bays, Australia is a beach lover's dream come true. Let's start with the iconic Bondi Beach, just minutes from downtown Sydney. Here, surfers carve through rolling waves, joggers run along golden sand, and swimmers dive into the legendary Bondi Icebergs Pool, a saltwater pool perched on the edge of the ocean. Every crashing wave makes it one of the most photogenic spots on Earth. Hop on a 30-minute ferry, and you'll find yourself at Manly Beach, where city life meets serenity. It's a favorite for kayaking, paddleboarding, or simply enjoying a beachside brunch at a cozy resort. You're close to Sydney, but it feels like a secret escape. And then there's Hyams Beach in Jervis Bay, officially recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as having the whitest sand in the world. The sand is so fine and bright, it practically sparkles under the sun. Surrounded by turquoise waters and eco-lodges that blend into the landscape, it's like stepping into a postcard you'll never want to leave. But it's not just about the beauty. These beaches represent the Australian lifestyle. open, active, and deeply connected to nature. Families picnic barefoot on the sand, friends play music by bonfires, and strangers become mates over a shared sunset. In Australia, the beach isn't just a place to visit, it's a way of life. And no matter which one you choose, the ocean is always calling. 6. Kangaroo, koala, and quokka, Australia's adorable icons. If Australia had a royal family of wildlife, the crown would rest on 3 charming heads: the kangaroo, the koala, and the quokka. These creatures are more than just cute. They're full of surprising traits and deeply tied to Australia's identity. The kangaroo is more than a national symbol. It's a national philosophy. Found on the country's coat of arms, currency, and even the logo of Qantas Airlines, the kangaroo is known for one quirky trait: it can't walk backward. That's why Australians see it as a symbol of always moving forward. No retreat, no surrender. Next comes the koala, often mistaken as a bear, but actually a marsupial, like the kangaroo. These sleepy creatures spend up to 20 hours a day napping, thanks to their energy-poor diet of eucalyptus leaves. But here's the wild part. Koalas have fingerprints that are nearly identical to humans. So similar, in fact, that even forensic scientists can have trouble telling them apart. And then, there's the quokka. Native to Rottnest Island near Perth, this tiny wallaby-like animal is world famous for one thing: its smile. Dubbed the happiest animal on Earth, the quokka always looks like it's beaming. So much so, in fact, that the number quokka selfie trend went viral, attracting tourists from around the globe to snap a picture with nature's most photogenic ambassador. These animals do more than just pose for photos. They help define the soul of Australia. They're playful, resilient, and unforgettable, just like the land they call home. And whether you're watching a kangaroo bound across the Outback or a quokka grin under the sunset, one thing's certain: Australia's wild side comes with a whole lot of heart. 7. Didgeridoo, the ancient voice of Australia. Long before skyscrapers touched the sky or city lights pierced the night, Australia had a sound, a deep, vibrating hum that echoed through the trees and across the deserts. That sound is the didgeridoo, one of the oldest musical instruments on Earth. Crafted by indigenous Australians thousands of years ago, the didgeridoo is made from naturally hollowed-out eucalyptus trunks, often shaped not by tools, but by termites. Each instrument is unique, not only in shape and length, but in its spiritual voice. No 2 didgeridoos sound the same, and no 2 performances are ever identical. Traditionally, the didgeridoo wasn't just for music, it was a sacred tool used in ceremonies to connect with ancestors. Played during Dreamtime rituals, it didn't tell stories with words, but with sound, low, looping vibrations that felt more like a heartbeat than a melody. Its power is so profound that even NASA studied its effects, discovering that the unique breathing technique required to play it, called circular breathing, can improve respiratory health and even help reduce snoring. Today, the didgeridoo has transcended its sacred roots to become a global symbol of Australia. It echoes through street performances, international music festivals, meditation retreats, and even electronic music tracks. And yet, it never loses its ancient weight. Watching a master didgeridoo player is like witnessing a bridge between earth and sky, past and present. You don't just hear the sound, you feel it ripple through your chest and stir something deep inside. In a world of digital noise, the didgeridoo reminds us that sometimes the oldest sounds are the ones we still need most. 8. The Great Australian BBQ, a national ritual of flame and friendship. In most countries, a barbecue is just a meal. In Australia, it's a national institution, a cultural rite that's as sacred as any public holiday. Forget fancy dining rooms or silverware. The true heart of Australia beats around a sizzling grill in a sunlit park, a sandy beach, or a suburban backyard. Aussies don't just enjoy BBQs, They live by them. It's how they celebrate birthdays, Christmas, public holidays, or simply a Saturday afternoon with good weather. And here's the twist. BBQs in public parks are free. That's right. Across cities and towns, you'll find electric grills ready to use. Just press a button, bring your own ingredients, and let the feast begin. But don't expect just steaks and sausages. A true Aussie BBQ might feature barramundi fish, grilled oysters, lobster tails, or even quirky treats like chocolate-covered bananas and pineapple skewers. It's a celebration of flavor, creativity, and local produce. The unspoken rule? Don't flip the meat too early. In Australia, that's the mark of a rookie. Flipping meat is an art. Do it too much, and you'll earn a few laughs from the locals. And of course, no Aussie BBQ is complete without a cold beer in hand, usually a craft brew from a local microbrewery. But what truly matters isn't what's on the grill, it's who's gathered around it. Families, friends, neighbors, co-workers, everyone is equal by the fire. In Australia, the BBQ isn't just about food, it's about connection. A shared meal, a shared laugh, a shared moment under the open sky. So if someone invites you to throw another shrimp on the barbie, don't hesitate. You're not just being offered food, you're being welcomed as one of their own. 9. Hahndorf, a slice of Germany in the heart of Australia. Tucked away in the lush hills of South Australia lies a village that feels like it was plucked from the Bavarian countryside and gently placed in the southern hemisphere. Welcome to Hahndorf, the oldest surviving German settlement in Australia. Founded in 1839 by German Lutheran immigrants fleeing religious persecution, Hahndorf has retained its old-world charm for nearly 2 centuries. Walk down its main street and you'll find red-tiled roofs, timbered facades, cobblestone paths, and flower-filled window boxes. The scent of freshly baked strudel mingles with the crisp mountain air. This isn't a theme park. It's a living, breathing village. Generations of families still run craft shops, bakeries, candle studios, and leather workshops. Step into one of the traditional pubs, and you'll hear stories passed down since the 1800s, alongside a hearty mug of German-style beer. Craving bratwurst? You'll find it sizzling on open grills. Dreaming of apple cake or dark rye bread? It's made fresh daily, using recipes that haven't changed in 150 years. Beyond the food and architecture, Hahndorf is also a hub for the arts. Just outside the village is the Cedars, the historic home and studio of Hans Huygens, one of Australia's most beloved landscape painters. Throughout the year, the village comes alive with seasonal festivals, from Oktoberfest to Christmas markets, all with an Aussie twist. Imagine Santa in a sleigh pulled by kangaroos, or German bands playing carols under the summer sun. Hahndorf is more than a quaint destination. It's a beautiful contradiction, a place where German tradition and Australian warmth blend seamlessly into a timeless experience. Here, history isn't behind glass. It's alive, shared with every smile and slice of strudel. 10. Coffee in Australia. A way of life, not just a drink. In Australia, coffee isn't just part of the morning routine. It's a ritual, a passion, and a point of national pride. While the rest of the world chugs down fast, watery brews, Australians have quietly built one of the most respected coffee cultures on Earth. Walk into any cafe in Sydney, Melbourne, or Brisbane, and you'll feel it instantly. The smell of freshly ground beans, the sound of steamed milk, and behind the counter, a barista who knows your name and your exact order. Australia didn't just adopt coffee, it reinvented it. The beloved flat white, a velvety espresso topped with microfoam, was born here in the 1980s and has since gone global. Even Starbucks, the coffee giant, struggled in Australia. Why? Because Aussies prefer independent cafes with real character over cookie-cutter chains. Every cup is crafted with care. Beans are often sourced ethically and roasted locally. You won't find pumpkin spice lattes drowning in syrup. Instead, you'll sip bold, balanced brews served with skill, and often with a leaf or heart poured lovingly into the foam. Australia consumes over 2 billion cups of coffee per year, with a population of just 26 million. That's a lot of caffeine and a lot of connection. Coffee here is how people catch up, slow down, or kickstart creative energy. Meetings happen in cafes. First dates begin over espresso, and mornings don't officially start until that first rich sip touches your lips. More than a beverage, coffee is a mirror of Australia's identity. Refined but relaxed, confident but unpretentious. It's warm, bold, and crafted with care, just like the country itself. So if you ever visit, don't ask for just coffee. You're stepping into a culture, and it starts with a flat white. 11. Canberra, the quiet capital that defies expectations. When people think of Australia's capital, many assume it's Sydney or Melbourne, but nestled between the two lies a city that quietly carries the weight of a nation, Canberra. Far from the towering chaos of global capitals, Canberra is a city of balance. It was purpose-built in the early 20th century as a compromise between Sydney and Melbourne, designed with wide boulevards, gentle roundabouts, and expansive green spaces. It's often called a city in a park, and once you see it, you'll understand why. Traffic flows calmly. Trees line every street. Pedestrians are treated like VIPs, and it's not unusual to see government workers in suits commuting by bicycle. There are no noisy skyscrapers blocking the horizon, just elegant buildings, art galleries, and a serene lake that reflects the city lights each night. That lake, Lake Burley-Griffin, is the heart of Canberra. Locals gather here to jog, kayak, picnic, or simply watch the sunset. At night, the reflections of bridges and buildings create a scene so calm it feels like a painting. Culture thrives here too. From the National Gallery of Australia to the interactive Questacon Science Centre, the city offers world-class museums without the long lines or loud crowds. And the homes? Many are built in the Queenslander style, elevated, breezy wooden houses with wraparound verandas, painted in soft pastels to beat the summer heat. Canberra is not flashy. It doesn't shout for attention. Instead, it invites you to slow down, breathe, and appreciate the simple elegance of good design, green living, and thoughtful planning. In a world of noise, Canberra whispers, and those who listen often fall in love. 12. Australia's natural wonders, where Earth performs magic. Australia isn't just a country. It's a living museum of natural marvels, where the planet seems to experiment with beauty, scale, and mystery. Let's begin with Lake Hillier, a shocking, bubblegum pink lake off the coast of Western Australia. Seen from above, its vibrant color defies logic. Scientists still haven't fully agreed on what causes the hue. It could be algae, salt reactions, or something even more obscure. What's clear is that it looks otherworldly. Travel north, and you'll find the Daintree rainforest, one of the oldest living rainforests on Earth, dating back over 180 million years, even older than the Amazon. Towering trees, rare wildlife, and ancient ferns whisper stories from the dawn of time. But nothing represents Australia's soul quite like Uluru, also known as Ayers Rock. This colossal sandstone monolith rises 1,142 feet from the red earth in the center of the continent. Sacred to the Anangu people, Uluru is more than a landmark. It's a spiritual presence. Depending on the sunlight, it changes color, shifting from golden orange to deep crimson by dusk. Few places on Earth feel so timeless, so still. Australia is also home to glowing caves in Tasmania and glowworm grottos near the border of New South Wales, where ceilings twinkle like galaxies. They blur the line between nature and magic. Even its cities embrace wonder. In Sydney, the Opera House isn't just a building, it's an architectural poem by the sea. Meanwhile, Melbourne, designated a UNESCO City of Literature, buzzes with creative energy, street art, and bookstores tucked into laneways. Australia's landscapes remind us that the world is more fantastic than we imagine. Here, nature doesn't whisper. It sings, it glows, and it stuns. 13. Australia's quirky street names, where maps make you laugh. In most countries, street names are forgettable, numbers, trees, or historical figures. But in Australia, even the signs on the road tell a story or a joke. Welcome to a country where you can visit towns called Nowhere Else, Mount Buggery, and Eggs and Bacon Bay. These are not fictional places. They're real locations you can find on Google Maps and on postcards sent with a cheeky grin. Why so odd? Australians have a well-known love for humor, and it shows in their geography. Naming a street or a town is a chance to make people smile. Some say it's a rebellion against seriousness. Others say it's just classic Aussie wit. You'll also find quirky signs like Looney Tunes Lane, Google Street, and even Nothing Street, which once caused GPS systems to glitch. And then there's Come By Chance, a town with a sign so frequently stolen by tourists that locals have to replace it 5 to 10 times a year. These names aren't just for fun, they attract visitors. Some travelers go on silly sign road trips, snapping selfies with the most ridiculous-sounding places they can find. It's part of Australia's unofficial tourist game. If the destination doesn't make you laugh, you haven't gone far enough. Street signs here are more than navigation. They're conversation starters, collectible souvenirs, and symbols of a culture that doesn't take itself too seriously. In a world that can feel overly scripted and sanitized, Australia adds a little chaos and comedy to the map. Because sometimes, the best way to explore is by following your curiosity, down Looney Tunes Lane or straight into Nowhere Else. 14. The cost of living in Australia, quality without excess. When you think of countries with a high quality of life, you might imagine sky-high prices, crowded cities, and overwhelming stress. But Australia offers a rare balance, a nation where you can live well without burning out or going broke. On average, the cost of living in Australia is about 4% lower than in the US, and even 10 to 15% lower than in major European cities like London or Paris, while still offering excellent healthcare, clean cities, and stunning natural surroundings. In bustling cities like Sydney or Melbourne, a one-bedroom apartment may range from $1,800 to $2,500 per month. But head to quieter cities like Adelaide or Hobart, and you can find cozy places for around $1,200 to $1,800. Utilities, including electricity, water, gas, and internet, cost approximately $150 to $250 per month. A weekly grocery trip? Around $80 to $150, depending on how gourmet you go. Eating out is affordable too. A casual restaurant meal might set you back $15 to $25, while public transport averages $100 to $150 per month. Many cities offer discounts for students and seniors, making life even more manageable. Gym memberships typically range from $50 to $70 per month, and even dental checkups are relatively reasonable, about $100 to $200 per visit. So how much does it really take to live in Australia? A single person can enjoy a comfortable lifestyle on $2,500 to $3,500 per month, depending on the city and lifestyle choices. But here's the best part. You're not just paying for housing or food. You're paying for sun-drenched weekends, world-class beaches, friendly neighbors, safety, and clean air. Australia isn't just affordable, it's livable. And that's something money alone can't buy. 15. Australian cuisine. Flavors that surprise and delight. Australia's food scene is as wild and wonderful as the country itself. A delicious mix of native tradition, global influence, and unexpected quirks that can only be found down under. Let's start with the legend, Vegemite. This thick, salty spread made from yeast extract is a national staple, slathered on toast, crackers, and sandwiches. To outsiders, it's intense. In fact, over 70% of Americans who try it for the first time say it's too much. But to Australians, it tastes like home. Balance that bold bite with something sweet, like a Tim Tam. These iconic chocolate biscuits are layered with cream and coated in rich chocolate, making them one of Australia's most beloved snacks and a top souvenir for tourists. Now imagine you're at a stadium, the crowd roaring around you, and in your hands is a hot meat pie, flaky pastry filled with savory minced meat and gravy. It's Australia's answer to the hot dog, and honestly, it might win that contest. Looking for dessert? Try a lamington, a sponge cake dipped in chocolate and rolled in coconut. Every year, Aussies devour tens of millions of these humble yet heavenly treats. But the heart of Aussie cuisine beats strongest around the BBQ. From grilled barramundi fish and oysters to pineapple skewers and even chocolate bananas, the Australian barbecue is a social event filled with flavor, smoke, and laughter. And don't forget the drinks. Whether it's a flat white coffee in the morning or a local craft beer at sunset, Australians know how to sip in style. Australian cuisine isn't just food. It's an expression of lifestyle, relaxed, inventive, multicultural, and full of flavor. From bold spreads to sweet cakes and smoky BBQs, Australia serves the world a menu as unforgettable as its land.